Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well today. I am Baltmatrix, and we are going to be talking about Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. This figure is absolutely fantastic and is one of my favorite Optimuses we've gotten in the past few years. But, you know what? Something else has caught my eye. And that's this thing. Specifically this giant box called God of War Autobot Apex. I picked this figure up over at sirtoys.com. I got it a while ago and just have never reviewed it. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, opening up the box, we can see that this figure is not tiny. It also comes with two LR44 batteries, two sets of hands, and a big old gun. Here is the big old gun, and it is a massively upscaled version of what the smaller Voyager class figure comes with. Then we've got one hand here that is an open and close hand, and another open and close hand, and the two LR44 batteries. I think they're LR44. Hold on. I'm sorry, they are LR41 batteries. And then the figure itself is a big boy, and at the bottom is the directions. I'll do a size comparison here in just a minute, but I want to give you all a quick up-close look of it. It absolutely looks fantastic, and the dark gray components have been given a shine on this as opposed to the Studio Series figure. It's literally the Studio Series figure scaled up to a ridiculous degree. Just to give you an example, here is Optimus's original gun. It works well. It doesn't collapse, but it works well. And then here's the new one. I mean, we're looking at least 100% upscale. At least. Maybe 150? It's exact, but it's big. And then here are the two next to each other. You could stack two of these primes on top of each other. While not an exact scale, here are two Optimus Voyager class figures stacked on top of each other. Getting the figure's head open is pretty easy. You just need a small screwdriver, specifically a number 1. A number 2 will work, but it is a little bit difficult to get the screw head into there. So I'll go ahead and pull these off, and we'll take a look at what's inside his head. The back of the figure's head has 3 screw holes, 1 at the top and then 2 on the sides, bottom sides. And then once the top one is loosened, the head will then open up. It does free up a little bit, and you can pull the front of the face off, not the back of the head, the front. And then there is the switch for the lights and a spot for those LR41 batteries. Just shimmy those batteries in with the little indentation, or I should say the top of the battery. The flat side goes up against the spring, and then the little rounded part goes over to the other side. And then you can just smush that head back together and screw the screw holes back in. Screw the screw holes, screw the screws. And once those screws are put back in and the batteries are in place, you push the button and beautiful, beautiful lights. Those lights work really well for this thing. Head is on a ball joint, can look down that much, can look up that much, and does a full 360-degree turn. Shoulders are on very, very tight swivels, but there is a clearance issue with the backpack. Not much I can do about that. There is in and out, and I love this little component that slides up. That is ratcheted, as you can hear. Bend at the elbows 90 degrees, swivel just above that. Then the forearms do have a little bit of a swivel for the transformation, and the fists themselves do swivel with no problem. Replacing the fists requires you to unscrew the screw that is at the bottom of the fists, and then the fist will split apart over the swivel, and then you can do the same thing with these. Pull the screw out, split the hands apart, and then snap them back together. There is a ratcheted torso swivel. Hips are ratcheted, but can only kick forward, can't kick back at all. The thigh swivel is, you guessed it, ratcheted. Knees are not ratcheted, but bend. And then the feet can move side to side and forward and back a little bit. The overall look of this Prime is absolutely gorgeous and very, very imposing. I can't stress how good this thing looks in person. The actual physical feel of the toy is great. All of the ratchets feel tight enough, and it's just a beautiful figure. And its original counterpart can pull off the same poses, mostly. The bigger one, because of the tightness of the ratchets, works better than the ball joints and hinges on the Voyager class figure. That's just the nature of ratchet joints when you compare them to friction joints. You're just going to be able to pull off better poses. Now, it's not to say that this little dude isn't any good. It is. It is excellent. I just like the bigger version just a bit better. And for those wondering, here is Autobot Apex with MP-10 Prime. And Titans class Predaking and Commander class Jetfire. Apex scales perfectly to the Commander class series. As part of the transformation, you're going to see the Matrix just show up there. It's very tiny compared to the rest of the figure, and I can't get it out of there. I don't even see anything in the directions that show that the Matrix is supposed to be removable for the figure. It does show up in the directions as, well, it's there, but even with a screwdriver, even with a very gentle pair of pliers, that I don't think is designed to come out. If you have this figure and you're able to get it out, let me know how you did it. And that is the transformation. Yeah, I realize I didn't do the best job on camera getting it transformed, but I really hate this mold's transformation. It doesn't matter if it's this third-party upscale version or the original. This transformation sucks. It is not fun, and it's more frustrating than anything else. But I can't argue with this cab. It is a beautiful cab, except for the back. The actual cab part is perfectly fine, nicely detailed, lots of nice chrome. Doesn't always stay together all that well, but overall it's pretty good. And then you get to the back and hello, empty space back there. Actually, that's kind of true for a real truck. There's a little more back there, but it is a bit empty in the back. And here is the figure with its Voyager counterpart. You can see the difference in just sheer massive size. And there are it feels like there are very, very slight mold differences. The tires on the original are plastic. These are rubber. And boy, howdy, are they nice and tight and stiff, I should say. These are real rubber tires, which is very, very cool. But you can see the literal size difference between the two. I mean, we're talking like 150 to 200% size difference. One cool thing, and I'm not sure how well that's showing up here on camera, you can see the Matrix right there inside, where there's no such thing on the original. Now, how is it versus the MP figure, MP-10? It's still a whole hell of a lot bigger. Whole heck of a lot bigger. Dang, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's big. For an idea on the size of the cab, here is Earthrise Starscream and current Deluxe Class Runamuck, or Runabout. The black one of the two. I mean, the cab size alone is almost the same height as a deluxe class current figure. I absolutely love this thing. It's big, it's imposing, it's beautiful, and it's simply wonderful. And it was cheap. It was not expensive to pick up. So folks, head down to the description on this video to head over to sirtoys.com to pick one up for yourself. They are showing up on eBay, but they've been, or what I've seen on eBay, they're really expensive. They're coming in at like $200. This guy wasn't even close to $100. I think with shipping, it ended up being closer to $100, but the original price was like $40. As I said, I love the thing. It's definitely worth having in your collection, especially if you're a fan of the Bumblebee mold. You deserve to have this guy being the giant, bigger than MP scale. So let me know what you think of this thing down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.